Hey guys, this is Fabricio Nobre. I'm here with my daughter. We're doing a project together. Honey, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Kyla Ober. I'm 14 years old and I'm going to be interviewing my dad.
All right. So she has a number of questions, and we're gonna get right into it. I'm really excited to hear them and see how this goes. So, first question.
Okay, so what inspired you to leave Brazil and start a new life in another country?
Okay, she has some great questions, and I am gonna. It's the first time I'm answering, so it's kind of cool, and I'm gonna try to be concise, but at the same time, I want to be as truthful as possible to the answer. Okay, so to answer that question, what inspired me to leave Brazil? I was about 20 years old. I'm from a small town in southern Brazil. I lost a few friends in a car accident, and I didn't want to go to college. I was kind of, in a way, I was kind of lost on what I wanted to do. So I wanted to come to the U.S. for a couple of years for a change. Learn English, learn some new things. I wasn't exactly where life was going to take me, and here I am 25 years later, still in the U.S. So anyway, but the initial motivation was to just get away for a while, and kind of organize my thought and see where I wanted to go with my life.
Okay, what were the biggest challenges you faced as an immigrant when you first arrived in the United States?
The biggest challenge, the very first one, was finding a job, because as an immigrant, I was here as a tourist, so the option as far as job were very limiting. Finding someone that would hire me, it was tough, and then the pay was really low. So the very beginning, that was the biggest challenge. Just getting a job and then getting a good job.
Okay, and how did you learn English and what role did it play in your professional journey?
And then, how did I learn English? I mean, the other challenge was the language barrier. So you trying to find a job. I was illegal, and my English was very limited. I knew the book is on the table, and where's the best. I mean, I knew a few things, but it was very limited. So I learned English thanks to a friend of mine, which I met at Papa John's Pizza. I was able to get a job at Papa John's at one point, and I met my friend Danny, really, really cool, still a great friend to this day. And he basically convinced me to go work at Volkswagen of Van Nuys in Los Angeles. And, that was the first time I had to speak English pretty much every day. Most clients that would come in spoke English, and I had to learn. I had to put myself, was very uncomfortable. I never did sales in my life. In my mind, I hated sales. I hated salespeople. I mean, it took him a month or so to convince me to go to the interview. And then he let me borrow his shirt and his tie. I just hated the whole thing about it. But it transformed my life. I learned to do sales. I learned to love, selling, educating people, teaching people about something. It's more than selling. It's really educating people. And I learned to do that. And in the process, I had to improve my language.
Were there moments when you felt like giving up? And if so, how did you overcome them?
Really good question. Many, many different times I felt like giving up. Numbers of times. And actually, at some point, I gave up in certain businesses that I was doing. I always tried to go as far as I could, but it got to a point in some businesses that I had to stop and say, look, this is just not working. I never gave up on my dream. I wanted to have my own business. I wanted to own my own time. But I had to give up on certain businesses. And even in the business I've been in for 19 years, there were moments that I thought of giving up for, several different reasons. And what I do to overcome that is focus on my why, focus on the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay. I've always had, big whys. Of course, some of my daughters, my two daughters, big why for me to have free time, to be able to be around them. And then a big why for me is to be able to go to Brazil and have the flexibility. My whole family is there. So just focusing on why I'm doing it, because no business is perfect, right? Everything has its challenge. There are days that I don't want to talk to people, and when I remember why I'm doing it, I get back to action mode and forget about giving up.
How has your Brazilian heritage influenced your approach to business?
Um, Being Brazilian tend to be very like free spirit, like happy and more flexible, like really working outside the box most of the time. Just their thinking are very creative. So I love that part of being a Brazilian, because it's helped me a lot of times. You have to be flexible in business. You have to make fun of yourself many times, because if you take yourself too serious, you're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna want to quit. So just joking about my own failures has helped me. Trying to have fun. I work with people and I work with a team, and I think that my Brazilian side of trying to be fun and have fun with them, and just it's not all about business. It's about getting to know them and becoming friends with them, and that side of the Brazilian. I think I bring that from the Brazilian culture. Okay, that Brazilian are very friendly. You meet them on the beach in the morning, and at night you're having dinner at their house and you're meeting the whole family. I mean, Brazilian are very welcoming, and I think that has helped me with my business.
Okay, and what motivated you to enter the field of business you're in now?
Okay, I was selling cars, right? So I learned uh, how to sell, right? And actually, I had a coach there. His name was Mike. He was my very first coach. Started teaching me how to sell, how to make it simple, how to make it fun, and it's all about helping the client choose what's right for them. So I learned a lot from Mike. But I also learned that selling, like every first of the month, they raise the board and you start from zero, right? So now you got to work all month long, and you got to sell everything again for you to make the money again, right? You're working with sales, you're making commission and bonus. You have to do the whole work again. And then during that point, I learned about a business that had what it's called residual income. That's when I was introduced to residual income, right? It was a service back then. Internet, AOL was starting. My daughter might not remember or know about AOL. That was from 20 some years ago. um, but it was like a residual income. It was like, okay, you get a client once, and every time they pay a bill or a subscription, you're getting paid. You're getting a portion of it every single month. And I liked the idea. And I left the car business. I was there for only 6 months, and I started looking for a business that I could generate residual income. And I tried several MLMs. Some were services, some were products. It worked for a little while, then it didn't work. I started my own business. I started a website company because I wanted to be able to charge for the hosting and for the maintenance fee, because I wanted to create. My thought was, if I can have 1,000 customers, that's generating, right, the $10 a month, that's 10,000 a month, just a repeat income, right? Everything else are bonuses. So I was trying to look for something that could create that. And then my website company didn't work out as well, and I ran into the company that I've been with for now 19 years, which has allowed me to create that repeat residual income. And that's how. So I didn't quite stumble into it. Actually, from 2001 to 2006, it took me 13 different businesses before I found the business I've been in now for 19 years.
Okay, and what was your very first job in this country, and how do you think it shaped your work ethic?
My very first job, I arrived in the US in 1998, and I worked at a car wash. And it was 10 hours. Actually, I took my daughters there once. I don't know if you remember.
I do, yeah.
We went there because I was in Florida for just 4 months. I worked in the car wash. And then I moved to California in 2012. We came back to Florida, so I took them to the car wash. I mean, we were working 10 hours a day. It was the beginning of the summer. Florida is really hot, really humid. We were making $4 an hour and a little bit of tip. So we weren't making a lot of money. How it shaped my my work ethic, I'm like, man, I worked really hard for very little for someone else, right? So imagine if I'm working for myself, for my business, right? I should work even harder, okay? So I remember that time where I worked very, very hard. It was not easy. The very first couple hours, it's okay. You're having fun and you're cleaning cars, but it gets really exhausting. And I saw people there that actually, they were working there for 10 years, some over 10 years. And I'm like, I don't want that for me. So it definitely motivate me to keep my mind open and look for options so that I wouldn't be doing that for too long.
Okay, and what were the biggest financial or operational challenges you faced early on?
She has some good questions. Well, the biggest financial challenge I had, like one would say, well, lack of money. I mean, I came to this country, I had $400, and for many years, like, I never really had a lot of money at once in my hand. But it was really lack of knowledge. I never really learned about money until I got into business, and I've had several mentors, people that took the time to teach me, and I've read books, and Dave Ramsey and other people, because I had no financial education. I mean, there's really no conversation in my house about money. I would hear my parents arguing because of money, but there's nothing like, you have to save, you got to pay yourself first, and you have to save and don't get into debt. And that was one of the first challenges, because once I got my social security number here, you start getting offered, and all of a sudden I had credit cards, and I never used credit cards, and all of a sudden they become your business partner. Like, I used to pay my Visa with my MasterCard, and sometimes go to gas station and see, okay, which one of you is gonna work today, and paying high interest. So it took me a while to learn, figure it out, and do some adjustments so that I'm spending less than I'm making. I'm saving every month. I'm paying myself first. I'm not getting into debt. I'm not paying interest. You want to earn interest, not pay interest. But it took me several years to get the hang of that. So that was the lack of knowledge about money. It was probably the hardest thing for me at the beginning.
And how do you stay competitive in your field of work?
How do I stay competitive in my field of work? Well, there's two sides of it, right? The company I work with, they are one of the biggest manufacturer in the U.S. They focus on manufacture biodegradable, organic, like just products that are good for us and good for the environment. So they stay competitive by always innovating, by always creating new science, new products. They have hundreds of patents. So they're always improving to stay competitive in the marketplace. On my side, what I do, part of what I do is I look for people that want to do what I did. Like, I wanted to change my financial situation, right? I wanted to live debt free. I wanted to have flexibility in time. So I stay competitive by, having a system in place and making myself available so I can coach those people, teach them, help them through tools, and through using my time, by coaching and helping them so that they can achieve their goal as far as financial freedom and time freedom. So that's how I've been for 19 years, Like I don't really feel like that's an interesting question. I don't feel like I'm competing with someone in particular out there, but I guess we are in a way, because people, they wanna change their life. They're sick and tired of being broke, and they wanna know they're teaming up with someone and a company and a system that's gonna support and help them go from where they are to where they wanna be. So that's what we do. We help, and we have a good system in place for that.
Okay, good answer. So, what skills or qualities do you think are essential for success in your business industry?
I think for every business, resilience. You have to have resilience, because it's too easy to give up. Also, you need to be stubborn. I always thought stubborn was a bad thing because I've always been called stubborn. And my stubbornness have helped me to stick to my goal and my dream and stay, consistent. Like consistency is very, very, very important. Um, and know what you want. I mean, once you find something that aligns with your value and with what you want, stay focused, because life is gonna give you a lot of there's a lot of shining things, right, calling your attention, and oh, this is better, that's better. And nowadays there's so many distraction, right? We were talking the other day how it's so easy for us to be in one place and look on an Instagram post and think, oh, I wanted to be on that place, right? And in business is the same thing. Like a lot of time you're like, okay, I'm here, I'm working hard, I'm not quite where I wanted to be. I see some improvement, but I'm not there yet. And now you're looking at, oh, but look at that. What if I was doing that business? And then all of a sudden, I mean, in 19 years, I've seen people that every 6 months, they're doing something else. I know people for 19 years, and they're like, I just saw a post the other day, this guy I've known for over 10 years, and he's starting something else, So stay on your lane. Just, once you know what you have at hand, it's aligned with your value and with what you want. Just stay focused. Don't get distracted. Don't compare yourself to other people or other businesses. Just stay in your lane and until you get to your goal.
And how do you think technology has impacted your business over these past few years?
A lot. When my daughters, when they were little, like I traveled almost every week. So I worked from home, but I always traveled. I always went to meet. I had groups in Northern California, in Boston, in Texas, in Florida. And I was always going there to do training, presentation, conference. Everything was pretty much face to face. And today, as you see, Kyla, don't travel a lot. I do some traveling, but nothing like before. It was pretty much every week, or at least every other week. So now we have Zoom, we have the WhatsApp, and we have so many tools that we can be sitting right here doing this interview, this video, and within second have it on YouTube. And some people can use it as a training and get some information so they can learn something to improve their business, and all done nowadays pretty much for free or very inexpensive, and all very quickly. We didn't have that 19 years ago.
And how would you describe your leadership style?
My leadership style is, I will walk with you if you want to walk. I will run with you if you want to run. I am not going to drag you. That's my style. I'm always looking for someone that wants to, of course, people that want to run, that want to go big, and they want to do it fast. But it takes work, it takes commitment, it takes work ethic. And if they're that kind of person, I'm there with them side by side. But if they just want to walk, a lot of people I work with, they want to make an extra $1,000 a month, just pay the credit card debt, or start saving some money, and that's awesome. That's fine. But I just don't drag people. I heard one time from one of my mentors. He said, if I have to convince you to start your business, now I have to convince you to work. Right? It's a lot of convincing, waste of energy. Right? We want people that are convinced they want to change their life and they're willing to work, and we work with them.
And how do you deal with failures or setbacks in your business?
Well, like most people, I get frustrated at first and I get upset and I hate it, right? But then I try to reframe it and see, okay, what can I learn from this? I believe success is a combination of lots of failures, and then eventually you get to the what people call or what you call success. But failure is a part of it. There's no success without failure. Okay. Thomas Edison, right? He created electricity, but it took him what? Thousands of tries, thousands of failure before he could get to the success. Okay. So nowadays, once I'm frustrated and upset, I can let it go, try to reframe it, see what I can learn from that, and just keep going.
And what advice would you give to immigrants or young entrepreneurs trying to succeed?
What advice someone that is trying to succeed? Well, first of all, uh, establish what is success for you, right? I think everybody has a different opinion to what success is. So, what is success for you, right? And then once you know, because you know what is failure for you, it might be success to someone else, right? If you're already making enough money to pay your bills to someone that is unemployed and in debt, you're already successful. And you might be thinking, yeah, but I'm not saving money, so I'm not failure, you know? So what is success? Where do you want to get to your success? And then the other thing, then find something that, once again, aligns with your value, with your passion. I believe in having fun, enjoying the process. I don't believe in suffering and just paying the price, working hard. I think we work hard, but you want to enjoy the process, right? If you're going to do this business for a long time, you might as well enjoy the process. So find something that you like, aligns with your value, and then stick to it. Stick to it. Don't keep jumping from here to there, or don't like people driving with their foot on the gas and foot on the brake, go stop, go stop. That's the hardest way to build anything. So once you find that thing that works for you, just stick to it, put your head down, just work and go for it. Okay? Now enjoy the process. I think it sounds cliche, but success, I mean, if you're enjoying the process, you're learning, you're growing. I tell my daughter sometimes, like, you're doing volleyball, right? And I say, hey, do you see improvement? Just focus on seeing improvement. If you're seeing improvement, right, you're succeeding. You should be happy. Enjoy that process. Otherwise, we're always frustrated, just thinking that, oh, we're not there, so we're not happy. No, just be happy. Enjoy the process.
And looking back, what are you most proud of in your journey?
What I'm most proud of in my journey, as far as business,
Yes.
or as far as my daughters?
As far as business.
As far as business. Oh, I'm proud that I came to this country, no English, no contact, no money, right? Just I was excited for life, and I was excited to see what life was gonna bring me here, and I was excited to surf in California. That was the main thing. I went there, but I was able to, without knowledge, without financial knowledge, without business knowledge, like I had none of those things, and I've been able to create a healthy life, which I enjoy and I love, and we have freedom of time to spend together and do things together. I'm debt free. Okay, I love that. I don't have that pressure. 19 years ago, I had $100,000 in debt. I mean, I know how it's like to be in debt. It's stressful. It's lots of nights without sleeping. So I'm proud that I've been able to figure it out enough to have a healthy life and beautiful daughters.
That's amazing. Can you describe the industry you're in and what makes it exciting or unique?
The industry I'm in and what makes it exciting and unique, it's called direct consumer marketing. What makes unique is that this platform is vertically integrated. So we have the manufacturer, we have the delivering system, we have the online stores, we have the whole thing, and we bring the product directly to the customers. So it's really cool for the customer. They get to buy amazing products at a very reasonable price. But on a business side, on a business perspective, we don't have to have a store, an office, inventory, employees. A lot of that overhead that a regular business would require, we don't have that. And literally, we can do nowadays the business from your phone. So I love to be able to work from here, from Brazil, from anywhere we are, be able to build the business, generate an income, because you gotta make money, right? You have to make money, but you're not geographically locked to a locked to a certain place. So you have freedom to work from anywhere. So yeah, those are things that make us unique.
And that's all the questions I have for you.
Thank you for your questions. Bye.